Uh, I'm Margaret in Windsor. I will give you this as a little reference for what I'm about to say. I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 1941, and I was born in 39. I was brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. I married as Childers. Both twins had been murdered by their mother, Lina Dempsey, who was unwed, and the family covered it up. Finally, in I believe it was July of '85, Annie Carter, Mrs. Ezra Carter, she was Dempsey's sister, Lina's sister. When I had a Hustler magazine, and he had furnished me a car for a year, so I felt like maybe they couldn't kill me because they were sure trying. She admitted it. And her daughter, Gwendolyn, I grew up being told and called bastard, told I had no father. It was a pigsty, I've said that. She admitted it, but Gwendolyn, her daughter, was married to I believe he was a Baptist minister there in Lexington. And she taught, Annie did, at a military school there in outside Lexington. Thank God the policeman there, the sheriff in that county of Carlisle, Kentucky, and Paris, I believe it was Paris, Kentucky, right next door. They were good cops. They really were. So anyway, Annie Carter admitted it with all I had on me, and knowing about my birth and kidnapping and the death of the twins, she admitted it. She said her mother, which would have been the twins' grandmother, had sworn them to secrecy because Lina, the mother of the twins that killed them, would face the death penalty. So Cortland Air Base was built, just being built then in 41. That's a few miles from Moulton. And I'm assuming that I was flown in there. The Kennedys, JFK's father was ambassador, appointed during that time, 36 to 46 when he was kicked out. And my uncle, George the Sixth, that was 39. 39 when they were planning my kidnapping. He was with Roosevelt, the Rothschilds, Kennedys, Illuminati, Rockefellers, and my own family, part of them, planned my kidnapping, and it helped execute it and take down my father, the real King Edward VIII. And this is the imposter they replaced him with, who married Wallace Simpson. My father, this is my father, 99 years still put on an illegal takedown and kidnapping of me. And this is my Aunt Claudia, my mother's Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, and this is my Aunt Georgia, the artist from, she was born in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, and Georgia had Ghost Ranch out near Santa Fe in Abiquiu, I've forgotten how you pronounce it. But it's Ghost Ranch, and they even made a 007 movie out there with Daniel Craig recently. So I wanted to say this. I had written, as background here, I had written about mind control back in 77, 78. Doctors were in on it, and then I found out that it goes way beyond that. Like, this is just the tip of the iceberg in an essay. And let me remind you that Edward Snowden was in Russia. I don't know. I hate to comment here. I do know that the United States and the New World Order, Illuminati, the people that took down my father and kidnapped me, and my Uncle George and Elizabeth became a part of it, were the ones that orchestrated and took down Tsar Nicholas and his family and murdered and raped and burned them. And Anastasia, the daughter, this really was Anastasia here in Charlottesville. I never knew I would end up next door here in Roanoke, but they murdered her May the 4th of 84 using the mental health system, Blue Ridge Mental Health. So Elizabeth is living on my money and hell. There's her brood, if you can see them up there. I don't have proper ways to put it up and show it. And this is Flint, who said in that endorsement that I knew who was responsible for his shooting and the death of his attorney in Lawrenceville. I was living in nearby Cobb County in Marietta at Moonraker Apartments. This is 1984 Hustler. And by the way, he was sent to Butner, North Carolina, where they put the serial killers that are programmed. And just like this man was. And then they talk about mental health. He's being tortured. He's under mind control. These people are under mind control. And to treat them for mental illness, I'm going to say it again, is such a torture chamber and misdiagnosis. And you can't misdiagnose. The doctor knows. So I'll leave it at that. They don't want it told. That's your weapon that's being used. And here is Timothy McVeigh. And yes, some of these, the ones done in patterns I'm speaking of, can be proven. They were deliberately done in patterns because mind control is an invisible weapon. And he said that the military, the Army, put a chip up him. So he was programmed. Now then, I don't know if I've got time on this or not, but I wanted to say this. Obama is over in the Netherlands. Now then, I told you that my uncle sold out. He worked for the American government. He allowed military bases all over British soil, signed treaties that were illegal. Elizabeth is part of the Illuminati, the New World Order. And they're having this meeting in the Netherlands. Okay, this is Queen Beatrix. She's the same relation to me as she is to, and I was going to show you, to Elizabeth. She abdicated last year, Queen of the Netherlands. So I'm assuming her son has followed suit. And by the way, Obama mentioned, now that they're over there in the meeting, about how nice King Wilhelm was to him. Well, that's nicer than they are to me. My name's not even on the genealogy sheet. Okay, so I'm going to go on. They gave away Great Britain. Now then, Obama is talking about Russia and President Putin. I mean, I don't know, but I know one thing. Nobody can be any sorrier than this country and the people who have treated me for 73 years like garbage and tortured me and my sons and used the British to die for them. They stole it from us in the beginning, and then they stole me. They took down my father. They installed their own monarch and put their military bases all over Great Britain. All over the world now use this as a launching pad. There's even an Area 51 in Australia. How about that? Do you hear any of these people telling it? Because the Rockefellers, you know, they come out of Rockefeller Center in New York. The media is controlled by them. Now, real quick before this goes off, and it's not going to, they're talking about the Secret Service, and one of them was drunk, and he was, Obama was apologizing for their behavior. Well, Obama should focus on their behavior, like Joe Kennedy's, the Congress that knows all about this, not just my kidnapping and torture, but the mind control murders and all of it. So that's, and don't apologize because you can't. But I wanted to mention Secret Service, Philip Call and Bob, I think it was Phil Cox and some Call, C-A-U-L. They were two Secret Service in 1982. I had gone to Cobb, I had made it back there to Cobb County, And they came down this when I went to the detective in Marietta Police Department, or I don't know if